Hey guys, happy Friday. Today, my youngest son, my 17-year-old, he graduated from Iota High School last night, and thankfully LSUE has an amazing program where if you score high enough on your ACT, the summer of your sophomore year, you can begin taking all of your high school courses through LSUE, but really you're taking college courses that then count as high school courses. So he graduated today from LSUE with 67 credit hours that will be transferring with him to LSU in the fall. So I'm so excited for him. That's going to be a huge dent in his electrical engineering degree. So we just finished graduation. We just had lunch with the family. I'm going to a final walkthrough, which is so exciting. So what is a final walkthrough? Let's talk about that. You know, the crazy thing is I've had a couple of deals with a couple of realtors lately who just seem to not, I don't know, just not be team players and not have a whole lot of common sense. I tell people every day, it's easy to get something under contract, but getting it all the way to the closing table, that's a whole different ballgame. And for me, it involves a whole lot of being proactive with my clients. And so I tell my clients every day, listen, when you have your house inspected, as the buyer, you always should have the house inspected during your due diligence period. And at that point, you ask for repairs, you ask for a price reduction. If there's something so terribly wrong with the house, which, listen, not only, I've probably had one or two people ever cancel a contract because anything is repairable. Just remember that. Anything is repairable. And that's what I tell people. But some realtors have a lot of listings. So I deal with a lot of realtors who represent the buyers on the buy side that just do not have a lot of common sense and just kill deals. It's absolutely silly, the things that they do, and it just makes no sense to me. So getting something under contract is easy. Getting it all the way to the closing table, that's a whole new ball game. So I always, depending on what side I work for, if it's the buy side, I am working my tail off to get them whatever they need to get to the closing table. If that's repairs, if that's a price reduction, if that's a combination of both. Or listen, if it's just canceling the contract and finding something else, that's an option too. But 99.5% of my deals that go into contract make it to the closing table because we make it work. If the buyer falls in love with the house and there are things wrong with it that need to be fixed or that aren't up to code, or that need a price reduction because things need to be repaired, listen, we're going to make it work. That's a guarantee. We're going to make it work. And so this house, these clients got a brand new roof. And so today is the final walkthrough, which means after we do our final walkthrough, we're going to closing. They're going to get the keys. They're going to get their house, and it's going to switch hands. But the final walkthrough is this purpose. If the buyer asks the seller to do any kind of repairs to the home, they have a couple of days before closing to make sure that all of those repairs have been done, and then the buyer gets to do what's called a final walkthrough, and during the final walkthrough all of those repairs should be done and the home should be in the same or better condition than the first time the buyers walked through the house. So we're looking to make sure that when they were moving out, they didn't ram into a wall and put a giant hole in the sheetrock, or they didn't take bathroom mirrors down off the walls, or they didn't take some chandelier that was hanging in the house that they didn't ask for, and that they took down. So those kinds of things. We're looking to make sure the home is in the same or better condition than the first time we walked through it, and that any repairs that were requested have been done. So the very first thing we're looking at is the brand new roof. And I'm so excited for them because, listen, number one, it's going to add immediate value to the home. Number two, their insurance is going to be way lower than it would have been with the old roof. The person that did the roof repairs, we also asked them to change a lot of the soffits, some of the hardy plank, to put fresh paint, and all of those things are adding value. So the person buying this house just bought a house with instant equity. a house that if they turned around and resold it would be able to sell it for more than they are about to buy it for, simply because it has some repairs and a brand spanking new roof. That adds tremendous value to this home. So that's huge. I'm so excited for them. I'm so happy that they chose me to be their realtor. I've actually worked with this family numerous times on the buy side and the sell side, so they know my reputation. They know that I'm always working for them. And it's going to be an exciting closing day where the sellers are going to hand over the keys to this buyer who's going to then own a beautiful home in a great neighborhood in an area where flood insurance is not required, with a brand new roof, a great yard, all the things, and I'm so happy for them. So listen, remember, I'll tell you, like I say all the time, there are no stupid questions. If you have any questions at all, whether you're thinking about buying in the near future, if you're thinking about selling in the near future, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Call me, text me, private message me on Facebook. No stupid questions. The only way you know the answer is if you ask. And so listen, the same questions come up over and over again, so don't hesitate to ask them. One question I get asked a lot is, why do you need a pre-approval to go start looking at houses? There's a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you, if you have 20% down or more, then a local bank may be a great place to start. If you don't have 20% down, and listen, in some instances, if you have no money at all, believe it or not, you can buy a house. If you only have 3.5% down, you can buy a house. There's lots of ways that you can buy a house with little to no money down, but a bank is going to require you to have 20% down, which most people just don't have that. And that's okay. That's totally okay. But a pre-approval is for a couple of reasons. Number one, because you want to know what you're pre-approved for. And so if your monthly note, let's say you want to pay $2,000 a month on a house, then when you get pre-approved, you need to say to the mortgage lender, listen, the most I want to spend per month, and that includes your mortgage, your taxes, and your insurance. If it's $2,000, then you say to the mortgage broker or the lender, the most I want to spend per month is $2,000 a month, so don't pre-approve me for more than that, okay? And so whenever that number is, when you go start house hunting, you know what your price range is. And you're not just shooting in the dark. Because listen, like I tell people, if you think that you're going to get pre-approved, let's say for $300,000, and you start looking at homes in the $300,000 range, but then when you finally get pre-approved, you're only pre-approved for $225,000, those houses in the $225,000 range are going to look a whole lot different, a whole lot worse, a whole lot not as fancy as the $300,000 houses did. So you're doing yourself a disservice if you start going house hunting without knowing what your true budget is. Also, for me, it's a safety issue. If you call me up and you're just some strange person that I don't know, and you say, I want to go house hunting, number one, it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of your time, and you might not be the safest person in the world for me to go house hunting with. Now, if you take the time to go get pre-approved from a real live lender, and they've pulled your credit, they've pulled your driver's license, they've pulled all the things, and they've it's almost like doing a background check from talking to you. They know you're decent, they know you have money, they know you're pre-approved, all the things. I feel more comfortable go and show you houses, right? And you know your budget. So if you're a new realtor and you're listening to this, I would encourage you, screen your people, have them get pre-approved first, and it just makes it way more safe. Plus, you're not wasting anybody's time. Another thing, until you know what kind of loan you're pre-approved for, you could also be wasting a lot of time. Because if you're pre-approved for a government loan, there are only going to be certain houses that qualify for a government loan. Whereas opposed to if you're pre-approved for a conventional loan, you can pretty much look at any house anywhere, right? Unless it needs a whole lot of work. If it just needs minor work, that's okay. A conventional loan will qualify for almost any kind of house. But if you have, let's say, a VA loan, and you find a fixer-upper home, or let's say you have an RD loan, a USDA loan, or an FHA loan, and you find a fixer-upper, it has rotten wood, peeling paint, broken windows, soft floors, it's not qualifying. So if you're pre-approved for any kind of government loan and you want to go see houses that are fixer-uppers, guess what? That's a waste of time because it's not qualifying. So those are the kinds of things you need to know, and that's why it's important to get pre-approved. For example, if you know that you want a house in the city limits of Lafayette or Lake Charles, a USDA loan, some people call it a rural development loan or an RD loan, those houses in the city limits don't qualify. Only homes outside of the city limits of Lafayette and Lake Charles will qualify for a USDA or an RD loan, okay? So those are just some things to keep in mind and to know. Ask hard questions if you're a buyer or a seller and you don't know.